Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Spencer.
And this is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to talk about games we played, news, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, and a topic.
The anti-topic.
And the anti-topic.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's back.
Dan's back. So we're going to go
We're being
negative.
negative today, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go negative today because Dan's back. That's a bummer for everyone.
Yeah.
No, welcome back, buddy. It's too bad you skipped out just for Dune.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the
terrible.
only reason.
So why don't
Hope you
just,
enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah. How about games? How about games we played then, Dan?
Well, I played Dune.
Boo.
Funny enough.
I'm only mad because I
We
was
want
not
to.
able to be there to play it with Dan specifically.
Yep.
So
Don't
please
worry,
go into it.
you are definitely invited next time.
Woo!
And
So
it's
they
not
must
doing
have had a
it-
horrible
You're
time.
iffy.
On the edge.
I hope I get an invite some point.
No, I legitimately talked about this to Tim because I was like, I'll invite some people and everything if like certain people can't show up. I have backups and stuff, and I was like, it's everyone's first time playing. I just don't think Bob should come for the first time because he'll destroy them. And
I haven't played it either.
I know, but you'll destroy them. And I'm like, I don't want everyone to hate the
Have a
game
bad
just because
experience.
Bob's so good
Yeah,
at it.
I am good at making people have bad experiences.
Oh yeah, like
that
even
was
with your
legitimate.
favorite
Yeah,
game.
even with my
Oh
favorite-
hi guys, I'm just going to destroy you. This is my favorite game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you have fun? I had fun.
Yeah,
But yes, I
I've
played,
never won by such a large margin.
I played the 2019 version of Dune by Gale Force 9. It was overall a good experience. Everyone seemed to like it except for a little bit of drama that happened that usually happens when certain chemicals mix.
Right.
So I will have to not mix these chemicals again in the future.
Sure. And by chemicals, he means personalities.
But it's whatever. I knew it was a risk, and it wound up happening.
Sometimes you take those risks just to get the games
Yeah,
played, right?
I was able to get 6 people on Dune.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it was worth a shot.
Right. Right.
So I'm looking forward desperately to be able to play it again. I loved the game. Again, I've been saying this. I actually don't think the game is that complicated. It's everyone understanding their powers. What you're doing in the game is super easy. Yes, there are 10 rounds and 9 phases. So you're like 90 things happening. You're like, yeah, but it's whatever.
Right.
7 of the 9 phases
quick.
are check something.
Right.
It's literally 95% of the game is 2 phases. So yeah, I really think the game's not that bad. Just I purposely rewrote and printed out my own versions of the player raids because I wanted to word them better for beginners. Instead of reading something and the game expects you to understand something, I tried to word it in the most blatantly easy way ever. Just during this phase, you can do X. So you don't have to worry about that sentence
Sure.
ever again.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. But yeah.
What did your runtime go?
We played 4 hours, I believe, and I will say, I did a house rule. I did a couple house rules to make it beginner friendly that I found on the internet that I liked. And one of them was instead of playing 10 rounds, we played 7. So we capped it at 7 instead of 10. And we did get through the 7 rounds in about 4-ish hours.
Okay.
And that's with literally 6 people playing for the first time.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So lots of teaching and lots of all that stuff. But
Right on.
yeah, I didn't think it went too bad.
That's good. No, I'm glad you've gotten it played. So now when we do play it, like,
Well, yeah, I'm really
You've already
looking
got
forward
some-
to.
got-
I already
gotten
have
some
upgraded
experience.
components, and I have, like I said, those player raids. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
Teaching
making it easier
Yeah.
for everyone.
absolutely.
right?
I hope I get to play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, trust me. If you guys are ever all available at the same day,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
You guys just need to stay up later.
Well, we are available on the same day, but that's when we do the show.
Yeah, that's true. Cancel the show next week.
Just
Not
gonna
get
play
carried
Dune.
away.
Also,
I actually,
record ourselves doing.
I was gonna say, I actually wouldn't be against not doing a show once, but live streaming the game.
sure.
Right? I wouldn't be against
Like a special
that idea. Yeah,
thing.
a special
Yeah.
thing for that.
We'll do Dune.
That's
and
not a
the
bad
other
idea.
Dune. Both
Yeah.
Dunes.
Do it on the launch weekend of the new Dune movie.
For the movie, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We can do that,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
October.
live stream.
I am expecting
Wait, that's
a
in
reprint of this
October?
game, by the way.
I don't want to
Oh,
wait
yeah.
till
With that,
October.
with that
Probably.
art
Could
and
be.
everything. I am expecting that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not a big
Okay.
fan of that art. Like, look at the box. It looks kind of weird.
That's okay.
It's honestly, yes, the character pieces and stuff, but like the map and everything, I like.
But you're spoiled by Dune Imperium.
correct.
Yeah.
I still have to
Dune
play that one
Imperium
too.
art is
Yep.
superior.
So good.
Okay, Spencer, any games played?
Yes, one.
Yes.
This has been a terrible week for me to try to play games. I had so many adult responsibilities
Blech.
involving something that you might know as
Right.
an audit.
Sure.
Oh.
So I got to play the Runes of Zun or Zune or
Runes of Zun.
Zun.
As far as I know,
Runes
that's how
of
the
Zun.
that's how the developer said it.
Runes of Zun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
That-
pretty fast paced. Kind of magic-y, kind of
Take that kind of card game.
yeah.
Yeah, just a simple take that card game.
It,
Yeah, I don't
it
know.
reminded
Yeah,
me
take
of
that.
Mini Steel.
I agree.
Yeah,
But I-
that's what I was
And
thinking.
not just because of the art style.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but just the way
draw card,
the way
play
you
card,
play,
yes. Yep.
you're throwing things
attacking
around,
people. Yep.
bouncing stuff back.
Yep.
We'll be covering that because that is a Kickstarter delivering now. So if you guys probably care about that, we'll be covering that at some point.
Probably in a few weeks. Within
Yeah.
a week or two, we'll have a review of that.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think it would be easy to do.
I wanna get something done with the expansions too. So we'll
I would
see what
like to
happens.
try that.
Yeah.
By something done, you mean open them and
Yeah,
put them
and
in
it's-
the...
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't know. Same video, separate video. Who knows?
Sure.
And it's a fast enough paced game that you could probably sit down with your friends and pump out 2 or 3 or 4 of them in really quick time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually surprised.
Our game
the-
took as long as it did.
Yeah, your game took probably 20-ish minutes
Yeah,
or
about
something,
20
and I was actually like, this was a long game. Like they
Well,
couldn't
we
hurt
went
each
through,
other.
we
couldn't
went
get
through
his
the
health
deck like
down.
3
Twice.
times.
Yeah, well, yeah, like
Two
2.5 or
times,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, that was surprising to me. But in all fairness, I've only seen it played twice, so maybe that's the norm. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I am proud of banishing myself.
twice.
I did it first.
Yeah,
I did
don't
it
touch
first.
me. That you win the game because I had the cards to deal with it. Because
Yeah.
I would have hit you for the damage you needed, and if you would reverse it, I had to reverse. That's why I didn't do
Reverse,
it for 2
reverse.
turns. I'm like, I'm good. Go.
Yeah.
I'm good. Go because I had the cards I needed. Yeah, but you're like, you can't target
I
me.
needed to wait and redirect your attack on me, and then I might have survived maybe one more round.
Oh sure.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
All right.
So, yeah, okay. Runes of Zun,
Yeah.
right?
As far as I know, that's how the developer said it in the video.
Sure.
Yeah.
Z-U-N.
I played one game.
That's a weird week for you.
I know. Well, I was followed by a bunch of Magic.
Oh, sure.
Lords of Hellas.
Oh.
Oh, not no, I'm sorry. Lords of Vegas.
Oh!
I got all
me
excited.
going.
I got them all excited.
Oh.
Like, a game I really like too. All luck-based games. No, Lords of Vegas.
Lords of Vegas, I still love
Yeah,
it.
Tim still likes it, but yeah, it was,
I
it
mean,
was
I'll
great.
say that
We
is
had fun.
stunning.
You
Isn't
got
that very
the
pretty?
upgraded.
see what I'm talking
did.
about.
Fancy
Yeah.
Bring it over here.
I mean, he really wants to bring it over here.
Yeah.
Bring it over here. I wish I had some handcuffs to handcuff it to myself. But
It's got the poker chips in there, right?
Oh yeah, we'll pop it over.
that's heavy.
Is crazy.
It is
That's
amazing.
crazy. Like
Oh,
leather.
Oh, my Lord.
It's very pretty. I know. I need a little light.
You need the
on
light, right? So
inside.
you get the Pulp Fiction. Are we good?
We good?
Oh, we
We
good. Yeah, baby.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So when
Poker
I
chips.
last time I
What?
played this at my house, we used poker chip.
And-
I just
and
because I had them sitting
One of
there.
the coolest parts,
Yeah.
turn around so they can see it, that I really
this
liked
is beautiful.
is these are your you have parking lots, right? So you have all these cars, and each player has different colored cars and different
Nice.
shaped cars, and then you use the airplanes.
Oh
for
my
your-
god. Huge.
Yeah, those are like casino dice.
Yeah,
yeah.
clunky casino dice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool. I was really worried because it was delivered to my house while I was out of town, and the box looked ripped, and it was raining, and my neighbor wasn't home to put it inside. I'm like, we're gonna get home, but
This is nice.
it ended up being fine. Yeah, no
Yeah, that
damage
is
at all.
beyond
Okay,
nice.
Well done.
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the bits
Well,
are super
oh,
cool.
Done.
Yeah.
And you
Man.
really got it
Look,
at
look, look.
cost.
I did.
So
Pull them up
that's
I didn't pay
so
anything
quick and
extra.
easy to get them in and out.
that's the ideal situation.
Yeah, little tabs in there to
That's
so
so
it helps you
smart.
pull all the stuff out.
Yeah, these are not just these
And this
are
whole insert-
custom made,
Nice.
labeled.
Yes,
Yeah.
this whole thing tray
Poker
comes out
chips.
so you can put it by the board, right? To have all the poker chips.
Wow,
and
I don't even
everything.
want to.
Yeah.
Woo!
Done talking
Very
about
cool.
that.
Yeah.
So
Too
this has
bad
been a
Dan doesn't like
review
this
of
game.
Lords
Yeah,
of Vegas.
when are they gonna do something like this for a good game?
Oh.
corner.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Game sucks.
So yeah.
So yeah, very cool. Lords of Vegas.
Wow.
Briefcase, baby.
Yeah.
That's good
I
stuff.
was very happy with that.
That is good
I'm glad you
stuff.
pointed out to me / not glad. Just because.
Yeah. money.
Watch that die over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
So
That's the game I played.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Good
Yeah.
one.
Tim here's all crossovers with me.
Except for I played a bunch of Ascension online, which I love.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Happens.
Right. Sure. And then Dan and I, we played War for Chicken Island
War for Chicken Island.
by Draco Studios.
Okay.
Hilarious theme. I printed out a fact that I've been
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to go
yeah.
through and see where it clarifies some things. I haven't had a chance to go through it enough to see. For the most part, we were guessing right on
Okay.
some of our rules questions. I think the rule book isn't badly written. It just doesn't go into a lot of details.
Yeah.
Uh,
and it's a thick game.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
But
there.
it's there's a lot, but there's not.
I
but
know,
there is.
right? It's like do this on your turn. Okay, well that sounds easy. How do I
Yeah.
do that? Right? Like there's a lot of ways to take advantage of these very
Okay.
easy concepts.
So you're,
That's right.
you're playing as like these goofy chicken leaders, and you're going around and you're trying to humiliate the other chickens on the island. So then you are then the
Head
best
chicken.
the best chicken on the island.
Okay.
And you've got like these really great goofy like miniatures. There's like a big old like metal golem.
Yeah, like you ride machines. You like build vehicles.
So your chickens, you got these little discs that are your chickens. They're your soldiers, but then they can become pilots. So like this big one might take 2 of your chickens. So you're gonna dedicate a lot of units.
I will say, unfortunately, they learned nothing from Anachrony, and you do not plug your pilots into them.
That's unfortunate.
Right? Yeah,
that'd been really cool.
They just slide under. But some of the models do have little chickens riding them.
Okay.
So where you can see them and stuff. But it's got all kinds of goofy abilities, different spells and strategies, and then constantly Chicken Island is riddled with volcanoes. So like constantly, like you might draw a catastrophe card, and then like a volcano erupts, tile flips over, kills everything around it. So
and they're just flipping back and forth constantly all over the board. So you're like, walking around all these things.
Yeah, it was, and so like, and the neat thing, the thing I liked is you roll like 5 dice, and those are your actions for the turn, and then you can choose. You can keep them on your board and like save them for future rounds, or you can spend them. Some of them will give you like permanent bonuses, so you can assign it to a guy, and now he's got like a permanent +1. And then there's like a +2 and a +3, which are one-time bonuses. So you could choose to spend it, or you can wait. And then if you're like, I'm tired of waiting for this, like I'm just gonna pick it up and roll to try to get other things. So you can get. There's like a retrieve icon, so it's a chicken ×2. So we'll let you get 2 of your dead chickens back, and you can put them right back on the board. So that's how you get stuff. You get resources. You spend resources to buy or build machines or soldier, like the special things like towers and cannons and all kinds of units. There's a ton of units. Pretty good variety. It was a lot of fun. I just wasn't. We kind of just called it after like 2 hours because we weren't confident we were playing it right. We were having a hard time killing each other.
Because we had been playing it that long, and it's the first to 3 victory points, basically, to sum it up. And Tim had 1 victory point on someone.
Wow.
Tyler and I didn't have any victory points. After that long, I was like, we got to call this. We're either playing something wrong, or this game's overstaying its welcome like crazy. And I doubt it's that.
And we got to do something. And we were trying to get Excavation Earthblade.
Yes.
And that's our next one.
Correct.
Excavation Earth, we will have a video for a review by Mighty Board Games. That I really liked. It has got amazing artwork, really solid components. It's very crunchy, very thinky.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's a game that I would not play again until I have watched many tutorials. I want to watch videos of how to play. I want to read the rule book personally, like a PDF at home. I want to do all this stuff and like really try to understand what's going on here before you play a beast like that.
And I'm like, okay, I got it. Let's play.
Yeah, sure.
I don't win a lot, but I did win that one.
That's because he just took the rules and went, okay, I'm ready.
Exactly. And we were like,
no, I said we're ready. But no, Excavation Earth, I really like. I mean, I think we all everybody at the table had a good time. I think
Yeah.
I liked it more than you did, but you still liked it. You know what I mean? It's not like Dan would say, I'm never playing that again.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it again.
It's not Lords of Vegas.
I want to be prepared.
He hasn't played Lords of Vegas yet.
He's played it.
Yeah, sorry.
He does not like it.
It's luck-based.
It's not just that. Again, I talk to Tim about this all the time. Theme is very important to me, and I just I could not care less about the gambling theme and everything. Doesn't mean anything to me. Don't care.
Don't care about
so
Vegas?
like,
You've been to Vegas?
No. Why would I do that? But yeah, I wanted to say one more thing about Chicken Island.
Yeah, go for it.
I
go
brought
back.
it up.
Yeah,
I brought it up when we were playing. It is insane to me the similarities between that and Reload, the new Colossal game that ships later this year that I backed. And I had a chance to play Reload, and then I played this. And this is like a much heavier, which is funny because it's not that heavy, right? But like just compared to Reload, it's like the whole lining up your dice on your player board and then the actions you're taking and the going around on the board. And he said like you can retrieve on your turn and like saying all these things. They play differently in Reload, and I do tend to like the art and the theme of Reload more. Like, if anything, the fact that you liked this, it makes me really excited for Reload.
Oh, sure.
Because it's just a shorter version.
Sure.
Even if this plays in the hour and a half they say, Reload is faster than that, right? So, like, having, I don't know, and I don't think they negate each other, right? I think you could own both because they're different enough.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that I understood a lot of the game going into it, because you kept explaining things, I was like Reload that I played? Like there were so many things happening.
I'm like,
and
I
was like, these games have nothing in common from art to publisher to anything. Why are there these mechanics crossing over? You know? So yeah, I'm excited now. Again, after playing this, to be like, I can't wait for these guys to get their hands on Reload too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Anything else?
Yeah. No. Wait. No. because you covered Excavation Earth at the same time. So I
Yep.
think that's it. Yeah, and then Runes of Zun.
Runes of
we
Zun.
played, so
Which I won that too. That was
Yep.
fun.
well,
A good day for me. Hey, all right. So let's get into some news.
let's get into some news.
This is interesting, and probably nothing will come of it, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Recently, some box art for Metal Gear Solid Psycho Mantis Battle has showed up
Quite the
on
name.
Reddit.
Huh.
But the original there was a Metal Gear Solid game coming out for IDW games, but it was not the Psycho Mantis Battle. It was different. This box art that has surfaced has the IDW logo on it. It also has the same two designers that were associated with the original project.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this is somebody that's just like, now that IDW's lost the license and they're not going to actually make the game, if they're now just like showing stuff.
Sure.
Because they also released a box cover of a Super Bomberman based board game, which Konami owns.
Konami?
Konami, yeah.
Okay.
Konami.
I was like,
Konami.
Yeah, I was like, that
Contra.
word sounds familiar.
Konami owns the IP for both of those.
Okay.
They lost. IDW lost the IP for both of those around the same time.
Right. And
So-
now they've both dropped, you're saying.
And so now those box art is popped up.
Okay.
So it's probably nothing. It's probably just somebody showing the art, but you're like, oh, what could have been?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because the idea, I guess, behind the Metal Gear Solid game is that it was going to be very Spectre Ops-ish, where you're trying to sneak around,
Makes
you
sense.
know, and
Yeah.
avoid detection. Yeah,
Hide in the
hide that
box.
cardboard box. Love that game. Another bit of news. This one I'm a lot more excited about this because this is real news. Stonemaier Games
I know them.
has filed for a trademark
Which one?
for
Oh.
an out-of-print, very popular game.
Yay, Battlestar Galactica.
Libertalia.
Oh, okay.
They
interesting.
filed.
Oh.
They filed for trademark for Libertalia. So champions who are getting those emails, when you look at future projects, you might have seen one, I believe, that was titled like Sea or Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's the working title?
Yes,
Like
the code name.
word, yeah.
So it's probably Libertalia.
So if they're just are they just going to redo the whole game? I wonder. I
No,
mean,
they're going to reprint it
okay. Well,
because the original designer got the rights back last year,
Mhm.
and then has said that he's been open to reprinting it,
Okay.
but nobody has
Jumped on it.
jumped on it until now.
yeah, and this is a pretty well-loved game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
enjoyed
just
it.
play
When we played it, you played it too,
Yep.
right? When we played it at Mechanic Rundown Con.
Yeah.
and
Mechanicon.
Mechanicon. And yeah, I thought Libertalia was a lot of fun. It wasn't so fun that I was gonna run out and overpay for it like on the secondary
Right.
market. And this is why sometimes you just wait a second
Sure.
because hey, an updated version that comes out.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna change the art, or anything like that. But they're not gonna change the theme. They're gonna call it Libertalia because they
Right.
filed for the trademark for
Yeah.
it. So anyways, it's definitely not coming out this year because Stonemaier is only releasing 2 games this year, and that is Red Rising and Rolling Realms.
We have a unboxing for Red Rising.
Oh, do we?
What would that be?
Oh, it didn't come from Spencer, so I
No,
didn't.
not me
I
this
didn't know where to
time.
look.
Stonemaier releasing 2 games this year is pretty good, though.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. I
pretty
mean,
stingy.
they're very selective.
Yeah, that's the better word.
Yeah, it's a better
because
word.
it's the more positive take on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
their
Sure.
games tend to be good, but they're very picky, selective, on,
selective.
on what they want to publish.
Right. And
Which
that-
I'd rather have that than a bunch of,
Of
you know,
course.
yeah.
Junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So keep an eye out for that. Probably more news about that coming soon.
Yeah.
So Libertalia probably coming from Stonemaier Games since they applied for the trademark.
I
Any
got some
news?
news.
Yes. Let's hear it.
Speaking, keeping an eye out for things. Colossal Games, their Ruination is starting to ship.
Nice.
So that'll be hitting your game store sometime soon, and we'll be having an unboxing for that, I'm sure, and probably a review shortly after. So
Cool.
keep an eye out for
I
that.
want to play Ruination.
Also, keep an eye out on Game Found because After the Empire Deluxe is
Yeah.
Coming
back.
soon, right?
Yeah.
In May? Is it coming
I
in
think
May?
I think it is in May.
I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
It looks so good, but
It is so good.
I just backed Robinson Crusoe
You
Collector's
did.
Edition.
I just
can't.
backed Australia
I
big box
know.
expansions.
And the other small little bit, another one that we mentioned previously, Cult of the Deep pre-orders are
Yes.
open
Nice.
on Backer Kit.
Check out our
yeah.
videos on that.
Right
That is
there.
that is
So
a
good.
fun
Yeah, I know.
game.
Yep.
That is a really fun game,
Might have
man.
to go to the description for this one.
I'm
Yeah, that's
excited
what I have.
about
That's what I have
Yeah.
for
No,
news.
that's good.
Yep.
That's really good. Spencer, what do you got?
I got 2 pieces of news. One of them might be old, but I'll do the newer one first. Are you guys familiar with the Netflix series Agretsuko?
Nope.
Is that a word?
Yeah, so it's about a little red panda who called Retzko who works at an office, and it's basically
Like red pandas do.
like red pandas do.
Makes sense.
Goes without saying, Tim.
And she
Sorry.
moonlights going to the local karaoke bar and screaming death metal, and that's how she gets through the day is screaming death metal. It's fantastic.
I can
show.
kind of relate.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
So this is just your Netflix news?
It's well, you see, they
Thank you for
someone-
watching Spencer's
Netflix and chill. with Spencer.
So they've picked up the IP. I unfortunately forgot to write down the name of the people who picked it up.
That's all right.
But the name of the game is going to be Agretzko Work Rage Balance.
Nice.
It's going to be available in the second quarter. It's going to be a 3 to 6 player card game.
Interesting. Okay.
5 rounds, and each round is going to be 1 day of the week. And the idea is to finish as much work as possible, which is going to be all the cards in your hand, so that you have no work left for the weekend.
And you can rage.
When you can rage!
Nice.
So, if you like Agretzko, which I love, that would be a cool thing to check out.
Sure. I'll have to check that out.
The other one, and so this one's a little old because it dropped on April Fool's Day, but
it
as
real?
far as I can tell, it's actually real.
This could be more Spencer.
This is going to be another one of me getting it wrong.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even mention it.
I was
Well,
like,
what is it?
Deadpool is available in Unmatched. You can pre-order it now
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that, so I don't know.
for
We're
July
gonna fact check
shipping.
that real quick. We got live
Yeah,
fact checkers.
fact
going.
check that one because they made a deal about it coming out on April Fool's. They're like, yes, we know we did it on April Fool's.
Yeah, but
this is
wouldn't
real.
Deadpool-
But if
Deadpool
Deadpool
would do something like that.
I don't know.
He would opposite day.
Exactly.
Yes, he would. I know.
Okay, well, my little thing of news, while Tim verifies the news that sounds correct to me, is again, I was not on the last show, so it's possible you guys talked about this, but I did do the description thing. I didn't hear you talk about it. But Gravwell is getting a second edition.
Okay,
Really?
right on.
Yeah,
I
okay.
like
So you
that
guys
game.
didn't talk
Never
about that.
played?
It's actually
No.
back here somewhere.
Somewhere back here, yeah.
But,
Got moved around.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Gravwell. It's a super simple game where you're all playing spaceships that get sucked through a black hole, and you're trying to get back out by mining the minerals for, or by mining the asteroids for minerals, and then those minerals are worth a certain amount of fuel. And then you play in order of number from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. I can't remember.
It's alphabetical.
Alphabetical, that's what it is. And you move towards the closest object. So where you play in order is important because if I'm behind Spencer and he's the closest object, that'll shoot me forward. But then if the next turn we're still in that orientation and I go before Spencer, I'll shoot backwards, right? Because he's still the closest thing to me. So you're controlling that rubber band effect and trying to be the first one to escape the black hole, and it's a really interesting game. So the second one just has some better looking artwork to me personally. I like the cover. And the two things it adds are, first of all, asymmetric ship powers, basically
Nice.
now. Yeah, always nice.
I'm
so
now
you get that
looking into this one.
little thing. And, and now it goes up to 40 cards, which means you can now play up to 6 players instead of
Nice.
normal one was up to 4,
Yeah.
which was always my biggest negative with
wanted
Gravwell.
more people.
Yeah, that 4 players just felt really limiting for how simple the game was. You could easily throw more ships into that game, especially if you
Just
just
really jumble everything up.
yeah,
more.
especially
that's gonna get
since if you
crazy.
add more players, remove some of the AI ships that are in the game, right? You could easily do that. So I don't know if they do that, but I
You
know.
said
Haha. so Gravwell, and also this is a nice little thing, right? Gravwell, for anyone who doesn't know, is by Cryptozoic and Renegade.
DC Deck Builder.
Yeah, Cryptozoic and Renegade are two
Yeah,
really
Renegade
good companies.
did Clank.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
mixing those two together, this is a good game, guys. Especially for
it's
how it's an inexpensive, easy game, and if that's what you like with
Yeah.
this theme,
I've heard only good things about Gravwell.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody say,
Have you had a chance to play it?
No, never
Not
played.
from
it.
that
Oh man,
sentence.
we better borrow it. And just
I think I have played it once.
it doesn't take
Yeah.
long.
When we used to run board game nights here years ago, there was a Gravwell was always getting played.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, seriously, every week somebody was playing Gravwell.
Yeah, it's just so simple, and it
And-
mixes
and I
interesting mechanics with
I
the
like the art
alphabetical
in the first
minerals
one.
and everything, because they're all real minerals too.
Yeah.
So like chromium, goes into
Unobtainium.
Well, but I'm just saying. So like chromium is C, right? So
Yeah.
and then all these things are hydrogen is H, and so you're playing. It's very interesting. I like the mechanics in there, but that was my news. Was Gravwell Second Edition was announced, and it's a good game.
So I've got one more piece of news. I'm very sad to report that Spencer is in fact correct.
Oh.
Yes.
Deadpool is coming, $18 pre-order. Congratulations, sir. You did it.
Yeah. So if you don't
Almost
know,
redeemed yourself.
Unmatched is a kind of skirmish game.
You're right. Right.
And they've started to throw in. It used to be like just historical characters, and
But
then they
now you're
started
getting IPs and
Yeah,
stuff
now
like
they're-
Jurassic Park.
I think this is going to be the
I'm,
first one that's Marvel.
I'm excited for Moon Knight.
Unmatched? Or
Moon,
just Moon Knight?
Moon Knight is coming as one of the packets
cool.
for. Remember, we talked about this not too long ago. They're doing the Marvel.
Yeah.
Packs,
sure.
and one of them has Moon Knight and Ghost Rider in
So
it.
Deadpool is their first one then. The first Marvel.
Well, these were announced first, but it looks like they're sneaking out Deadpool first.
Because it's
huh?
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
He cuts in line.
yeah.
Right.
Well, it's
He does.
Deadpool. Yeah. Makes sense. All right. Is that all our news?
I think
think
that's all
that's
the news I got.
All right. Let's go over to crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
I will do mine last because it will segue into
Topics.
topics.
Sure.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, then do you want to...
Yeah, I'll go. So this one, I found it interesting because it reminds me of smartphone, where when you break down what the game's about, you're like,
Is
and that's why I thought about smartphone. And so I read this one, and I'm like, well, you know what, though? I'm going to hold out hope because it could be really good. Connecting flights.
This looks awesome.
I know.
What is happening?
I was going to talk about this next week.
Okay.
Because there were 24
Yeah, there's
days
still a lot
left or
of time
something,
left
but
in it, but yeah.
That's one of mine,
yeah.
too.
I feel like
Yeah.
somebody yelled "Happy Birthday" and I wasn't aware that it was somebody's birthday.
It's your birthday.
Oh!
You get
th-
to go
this
on a
game
connecting
looked very
flight.
interesting.
It does, yeah. So it's like a thematic, puzzly game with like cards and whatnot, and you're worried about trying to build the best flight path and connecting flights and whatnot. And let's see what it says here. So it's 1 to 5 players, 60 to 150 minutes. Thematic, puzzly, medium weight, airline management board game.
Yeah.
I'm like, airline management. No, wait a minute. Hang on.
Yeah.
Smartphone was
'Cause-
really good, so this could be really good too.
And you are correct
Yeah.
because I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, like keep scrolling.
Well, the only reason I clicked on it was because the card system
Yeah.
is really cool
It
looking.
does
to
look
me.
interesting.
So
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
on.
I'll just say,
That's fantastic.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to say, as you're, so there's like a map of the world, right? And you're literally sending people along your flight path that you're building in front of you, like engine building kind of
Yep.
thing, right? And you're splaying the cards because each card has like literally a line with an airplane on it, and the line might move and blah blah blah, and you're lining cards up so that those lines make a
But not just the
continuous
lines.
path.
They also shade from one color to another, which
sure.
indicate the place in the world that you are.
Yeah, so then you're building these out, and then that's your company's flight plan, and then you break that down, right? So you can fly someone from Melbourne to New York, right? And it takes this many flights, like this many stops that you'll have on it. But also, that's not how flight paths work. You could also just look in the middle, and I do also have a direct flight from here to here in the middle of my flight plan. So this is your one giant continuous flight plan you're building throughout the game. It's just a
Can
super,
do other small ones too.
Yeah,
It's like when you're
Yeah.
playing Ticket to Ride and you've got
Sort
this
of,
one
yeah.
long thing and you
Yeah.
draw a ticket and you're like, I've already got it
It's
connected.
like that idea, but in this beautiful,
Yeah.
like you can
Way it
see
connects
it
the
in
cards.
front
Don't you dare
of
say
right?
but
But
good.
then-
Ticket to Ride is fine.
Then you
almost
can
said
also you could have several flights together and you'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Turn
right.
them into
Combine
one big
your
flight.
paths.
Yeah, they did do a thing, but it's already sold out. I looked where you could pay to
yeah.
be like on a passport or one
Oh,
of the people
sure.
in the things. But yeah, they're already
That's
sold
Dan's
out.
thing.
So that is
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what I
Get
thought
this
was,
mug in as many games as you can.
what I thought was interesting. So it's a 1 to 5 player game, but if you're playing 1 to 2 players, you're playing in competitive mode, and if you're playing 2 to 5 players, it's cooperative mode.
I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, the 2-player mode I think is the
Cooperative,
Yep.
I
So
might have had
high
it
player
backwards.
interaction, thematic events.
See, you got the news right, so you had to get something.
Right.
Yeah,
you
so
literally
we'll see.
flip
We should go
over-
look it up. Someone
You literally
look it up.
flip
He just
over.
did. He's got it.
I literally have it right here.
Yeah, 1 to 2 players, you flip it over the board, and now there's this interesting puzzle-solving
Yeah.
airline thing you're playing. Yeah, that plays
And with
differently.
sabotage.
Featuring a pickup and delivery to keep your brain working with customizable difficulty.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah, and you got sabotage cards. You got asymmetric abilities.
Yep.
I'm like, hey,
It looked super cool. I was like, actually, when you first look at it, you're like, managing an airline. I was like, no, hang on.
Right.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
just dismiss that.
Right. Look a little
Yeah, I
deeper.
literally,
bit
I had
deeper.
like,
What's the company?
It's not
Bazite.
the same company.
Oh,
It is
okay.
Bazite Games.
Bezite, yeah, Bezite
This
Games.
is the first game they've made. Go to
Okay,
the website, this is all they've
fantastic.
got.
Yep.
Oh, it's great.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah.
All right, Spencer, what do you got?
I also want to mention you have till May 13th to pick it up.
Sure.
It's
Plenty of time.
$49
Plenty of time.
for the base, $63 for the deluxe.
Yep.
Mhm.
And no, that was a different Kickstarter. Never mind.
The other one, I have one more Kickstarter because that
Sure.
was my first one.
Go ahead.
And I don't think we've mentioned it before. Is Canvas Reflections, the
Oh, yeah.
expansion?
I thought you were
to
gonna talk
Canvas.
about that.
That was one of my. I was going to mention it, but yes.
second box.
I know, and it pairs right up to the
second
other one and
box.
continues the
Oh.
artwork.
It makes
It's
they're
very cool.
slowly making the painting bigger.
Yeah.
I
It's
know. What are they going to
genius.
do?
It's genius.
Yep.
So it's 1 to 5 player. If you've played Canvas, you know how to play. Super simple. We should have a review of it or a playthrough or something.
Both.
Right. We got a
Um,
video.
We have a how to
somewhere.
play. Oh, our first and
Oh.
only how to play so far.
This one
No,
adds.
for a second.
Technically second.
So, quick idea. You have clear cards that you're putting together. On the bottom of each card, you have 5 different potential things that
What are they called? P-word. The colors.
yeah, the
Like
palettes.
palettes. At the bottom of those.
I wanted to say splotches.
And so you're trying to
Swatch.
match up points by
Swatches.
getting the right things on the right palettes, by putting these transparent cards together, which make a cool work of art. Now they have reversible cards, which have different words on the other side and different colors.
Yeah, and so the picture on the card would flip to the other side of the card and be slightly different.
Yes.
do something different.
And the
yeah.
palettes on the bottom are going to be
Yeah.
different. They also have added, instead of in the first one, you have a line of cards you get to pick from. Like in Small World, you're picking one, and you have to pay for the ones you don't pick,
Right.
and it all moves down. In this one, it's 2 lines. So now, if you're running out, you have more variety.
I actually didn't know that.
Lines at the same
I like that a lot.
time.
Double rainbow all the way.
Oh, it's
Wow.
so beautiful.
And it includes gold bonus ribbons, where it's on one of those palettes. It'll say if you can fit like shading on the neighboring palette, it gives you 3 bonus points.
Okay.
So just a
Interesting.
bunch of extra
More,
stuff.
more
that you
ways
can
to
get.
score.
Yeah.
Yeah, more ways to score.
More is
ways-
more.
More ways to use cards. I mean, Canvas is, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It's very simple.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, and easy to learn. And so this is just sounds like a little bit more seasoning in there, right? Like maybe just make it a little more complex without too much.
And you can also get, if you buy the deluxe version, you get signature style, which says that you get one at the beginning of every game, and it'll say things like you get +2 points for every animal you get,
Oh, sure.
or every plant. So
Right.
cool.
Okay.
More ways to play. It's $25 if you just want the expansion, $35 if you want the deluxe expansion, but you can also get Canvas and the expansion for $60, or the deluxe for both for $80.
Nice.
That still makes
That's not terrible. Deluxe.
No, no,
40
no,
bucks
no.
each for the deluxe. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan.
Take too long.
So I liked the look of a game called Cellulose, a plant cell biology game.
This sounds like a Spencer
Oh.
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
It looked really cool to me. It's by Genius Games, who also they make a lot of science games that I've actually seen and heard of before, but they also make Cytosis, a cell biology game.
Oh,
so
sure.
they're very similar. This is just the plant cell instead. But yeah, it's a worker placement game for 1 to 5 players, plays in 45 to 90 minutes, and it's just like the worker placement spots are like parts of the cell that you're working on, right? And so there's the cell wall, the mitochondria, the chloroplasts. You get cards that give you more actions on your turn, which are like enzymes, and you stack all the enzymes, and they all proc off of each other. It just looks really cool.
So engine building, but plant-based. The vegan engine building
Sure, and worker placement.
and worker placement.
Yeah. So the main board is like a microscopic cartoonized cell, like the inside of the cell that you're working on. And then there's also a second board that is like literally a plant growing that you're like feeding the oxygen and everything to
Sure.
as you're doing it. And once the cell wall is completed, you're literally like placing tokens around the cell on the board and building the cell wall. Once that is
Nice.
completed, which is one of the actions you can take, the game ends, and whoever helped the cell grow the best is the winner, which I don't exactly know what that means. But
Sure.
it has something
It
to do
might just
with
have so many tokens.
Yeah,
right, out there.
exactly.
Mitochondria
right.
is the powerhouse. Of the
Yeah,
cell.
it is.
Exactly. But yeah, so Cellulose, a plant cell biology game. I just thought it looked pretty. I like the art, and I like that kind of science stuff. I used to have a game called Compounded, where you're literally
Yeah.
just
Making compounds?
mixing
Nice.
the molecules together, and like explosions can happen on the board and stuff. And it's cool when you get a game that is easy, fun, pretty, and educational.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I accidentally learned something.
Yeah, right, right.
Curses.
Yeah.
Right
No,
on.
that's
No,
it.
that sounds cool. What was that called again?
Cellulose, a plant biology, plant cell biology game, I think.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's a
I saw that
title.
on there. It had
That is
a
the
few days
title.
left on it still.
Yeah, I think it was like
Say.
18 days left from today, so 15, 14.
Yeah, 18 days.
Yeah,
Yep.
when
got
you're watching
time.
this.
All right. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to talk about the big boy on the block
for
this
it.
week because this is
Yeah.
going to lead into our topic. Our topic, just so we don't bury the lead, is trends in the gaming hobby that we don't love right
Not
now.
fans of.
Not fans of.
Yeah.
And so this is mine. This is
I think it's the same as mine.
Marvel United X-Men by Simon. CMON could release a game, not do any advertising, and they will still sell 1 million copies of it.
Yep.
Because they're CMON.
Yeah.
CMON, in my opinion, has kind of taken over Kickstarter in some ways, overshadowing every
first-time developers. People like
first-time
that
developers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bezite Games.
with the exception of Canvas, because Canvas is what, AEG, or is Canvas somebody else? Anyway, Canvas I think is backed by
Road to Infamy.
a bigger
Yep.
a bigger studio, but still they're not Asmodee, right?
Yeah, correct.
But I just don't love that CMON is going to use crowdfunding
For a game that's going to sell anyway.
for a game that's going to sell anyways.
I mean, they've got the IP. I mean, you could put that on a shoebox.
They should move to like a Stonemaier type of thing where they've got an email list. So
Right.
say, hey, we're gonna make this game. Send that out to all the people with your email address, and then people can pre-order it all they want.
And full disclosure, I am waiting for a CMON game to
And
fill
like I love
right now.
a lot of CMON games.
We love
It's
CMON.
just that
They actually make great
practice.
games.
They have a ton of amazing games. I've never played Marvel United. I've actually only ever heard good things. I was initially turned off by it.
I almost bought it the other day.
But you can go to a big box store and you
Exactly.
can buy it, and they've got an exclusive figure that you don't get if you backed it on Kickstarter.
Well, they say
Seriously?
it's exclusive. Can you order it from another store?
Probably.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So anyways, they're bringing in the X-Men, and X-Men villains and stuff like that, which I get it, right? They're awesome. There's a bunch of awesome characters. They say there's a bunch of Kickstarter exclusives. Wait a year, they will show up on a popular online retailer for sale. Or you do it the way you should be able to do it, is go to a convention. When conventions are back. And if they're selling it at their booth at conventions,
those
I
are
have
just-
no
I got no
problem
problem
with
with
that.
that.
Yeah, they're just extras anyway.
No,
Thanks for coming to the
fully
convention.
endorse that, right? But anyways, here's the other thing that bugs me about CMON Kickstarters, especially Marvel United did this. So I've got all these great pledge values, right?
Yeah, the
So
29 different add-ons or whatever. Is that what it is?
Gosh.
well, here's the rub, right? You got for $65, you get the X-Men.
Cool.
Right? So you get all the Kickstarter
That's what
stuff.
people want. Cool.
You get all the Kickstarter stuff or exclusives, except this irritated me. So you get exclusive villain teams, so Toad, Pyro, Blob. Woohoo! All applicable stretch goals. If you spend $100, you get the Marvel United X-Men, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse expansion. You get Toad, Pyro, Blob, and you get the exclusive Storm with the Mohawk. So you don't get that for backing the regular version. You have to back on the $100 version. Here's the other thing that drives me nuts. Is that in addition to that $100, if you really, really, really actually wanted to get everything, you would still have to add on, where is it? First Class, that's 30 more bucks.
Separate add-on.
There's the Ultimate Classic. Oh, no, that's different. So there's a separate add-on. There's that, you can spend $220 and get the Ultimate Classic Bundle, which is all of the Kickstarter stuff from the first one. That's not counting X-Men.
That's just the stuff from the first one.
It's just the stuff from the first one. And that, now, granted, that is actually like all the expansions that you could add on.
Sure, and that's a good way to sell your other Kickstarter exclusive stuff. Is you add it on to
future Kickstarter stuff, 'cause
Kickstarters.
it's still Kickstarter exclusive.
Exactly.
Right. Agree with that.
Yes.
But I was kind of bummed because it's like, $220 and you still would have to back
this still to get the new stuff.
To get the new stuff.
And there's other like $40, $50 things to add on.
So you could go back and you can buy any of the individual ones a la carte. That didn't include the classic cardboard locations, which they give you, but it does have the Guardians of the Galaxy and Enter the Spider-Verse and stuff.
Nice.
Sure, which are all from the original.
Yeah.
But I mean, just CMON does this stuff
all the time.
I mean, it is almost $2 million funded.
Yeah.
They've got 17 days to go as of filming. This will crack $2 million easily. So it just doesn't make any sense to me why this is on Kickstarter.
Come on.
I agree. And this was actually my number one as well.
Number one. Oh, I didn't even. They're not top five.
All right.
Shoot.
It's
your
not
biggest
really
beef.
This is your
numbers.
biggest
This is
beef,
my
sure.
biggest thing.
Sure.
But the reason, and you mentioned this briefly, is that, I just mentioned Bezite Games, and I've got all these other ones that are just little tiny companies.
Yeah, companies like, this is like our first game, our second game.
First and
and
second
you're
game.
barely
and they get
overshadowed.
overshadowed completely
very
by
neat.
the big ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's CMON. They could sell it and go to the store, and everyone would buy it because it's CMON. We know their name. It's a big name.
They kind of wet the bed with the last Marvel United release because people were going to box stores and buying the base game before their Kickstarters were arriving.
They do that a lot, and that's kind of one of my beefs. Is that when you go to a store and it's in the store already. And I'm a backer.
Well, I'm just going to say one of my beefs I wrote then,
that
because
would make me
all
angry,
this is tying together to I have a beef that is controversially worded, but this is proving my point. One of my ones I wrote down is just crowdfunding. It's just a mess. It is a mess in how it works. It alienates these people who can't afford these nice things and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome. Right, these things that you can do now that you weren't able to do in the past.
Sure.
But there are so many issues that still aren't hammered out of this or ironed out of this idea of crowdfunding, and there's so many people taking advantage of different ways that you can do it. So I'm just kind of laying a blanket statement on, which I thought was gonna be super controversial, and now all you guys are like
all been
accidentally feeding into this idea.
But that being said,
I'm gonna throw some
companies like Awakened Realms made their bread and butter through crowdfunding. They wouldn't exist.
That's how they got to start.
Correct, but then
That's how they got
even
their
that
start.
though is another reason I would write this down, is because again I know this is for people that can do it, which is fine. But even Awakened Realms, who I've been very happy with their products, the idea of give us $300 now and you'll play your game in 2 years.
Oh,
yeah.
It's just
that's true.
That is
it's
tough.
frustrating.
But at the
to me.
same time,
I can't afford to loan you $200 for something I'll get in years.
But at the same time,
you know?
if you saw Marvel United in the store and you were not a gamer and you saw Marvel United, you're like, hey, it's a board game that has my favorite Marvel characters in it.
Right.
And then next to it, you saw Nemesis. You would go Marvel United because you had never heard of Nemesis or
Awakened
Awakened Realms or any of
right.
that.
Yeah,
So-
I guess that's different between big box though and dedicated FLGS.
No.
Right.
But my point is, they have a name beyond
Sure.
crowdfunding.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the big IP and everything. And I don't really have a problem with Awakened Realms because I feel like Awakened Realms, they started GameFound, and originally it was just to help them fulfill their own pledges.
Sure.
Now they're taking on, they've joined up with even Portal Games, right, for the Robinson Crusoe.
Yep.
But I believe, though, that you could go to GameFound a lot of times and still just buy,
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
That's
games
one of the
here.
nice things about GameFound. Yeah.
right? So, because here's the other problem with Kickstarter and the way that they do some of their crowdfunding projects, right? Is it's really nice when a company has got like $40 for the regular version, $60 for the deluxe edition. If you back it, you get it early. You're going to be the first people to get it, but this will show up in stores later.
Right.
Yeah.
But it really stinks when you're like, oh, I'm going to buy this game for $100 now with all the extra Kickstarter exclusive stuff. And then if you weren't able to pay for it or you're not able to buy it, I can't afford it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a doctor's bill or something, right? And you can't back a Kickstarter. Then you wait, you look on the secondary market, and now somebody's charging you $300.
Exactly.
And you just, for something that you could have for $100 if you could have paid for it then. And it's like, well, I got $100 now. Can't I just go buy it? And, a lot of times now you can't,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that frustrates me. I used to appreciate Kickstarter exclusives more, but now I think as I gotten further
As
into
it
the
became
hobby,
more and more poor.
also more and more poor. Don't have kids if you want to have an expensive hobby. It'll ruin you. But no, man, it's just tough, because you really got to pick and choose, and maybe you'll get lucky and find something down the line. Honestly, the good thing about being more selective is I've dodged some bullets.
Yeah.
You see some Kickstarters come through, and
True.
people are like,
Ugh.
"Oh, that wasn't great." And you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, I was gonna back that."
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gamble. I mean, most of the time now, I'm deep enough in the hobby where it's like, oh, I like this designer. I have a good track record with this publisher.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
You kind of have I kind of have a better idea that
Yeah.
early on I got lucky because I went big on Cthulhu Wars. It was Peterson Games' first, big board game.
Speaking of hundreds of dollars for years later.
Yeah, it's 2.5 years later, and my wife was like, you're never gonna get that game. You lost all that money. I'm like, no, it's coming. I swear, it's coming. And then when it showed up, and stuff, and it's not her cup of tea. She's never played it. I've never asked her to play it, but she sees how much how much I've gotten it played
Yeah.
and how much fun I've had with it. And I got lucky, 100% got lucky, but she doesn't give me a hard time about it now because I've played that game so much over the last 5 years that it's paid for itself.
No, I'm still waiting on my very first Kickstarter.
Are you really?
They're still updating it.
Wow.
But it was a video game.
It was a video game.
Yeah, those
Oh,
are.
okay.
I don't know that I'd ever back a video game on Kickstarter
No.
because it's a lot harder to do because the technology changes and you've got to.
Yes.
It changes faster than it does for your Kickstarter.
Oh
film.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
See, I backed a video game, but it was on Indiegogo, and it was of a board game. So
Oh, okay.
the Spirit
Yeah,
Animal.
I'm also curious about why people would even take video games. I feel like there's a warning, like a red flag when someone takes their video game to a Kickstarter and stuff anyway, because like Steam, super popular. I mean, I guess it's only if it's a computer game, but most of them are super popular thing. They have the green light system and they have the early access system where it's basically the same thing. It's like Kickstarter a game. You are paying for a game before it is out, and you are able to play
Are
it.
you like a
usually,
beta
tester?
yeah,
But
you're usually able to play it from
But
them.
how long has that been available?
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe a couple years.
It's been
know.
quite a few years now, but
Yeah.
it has not always been the case for sure.
The only video game I played that actually came from Kickstarter, I didn't back it, but I bought it later, was Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, sure.
So, and that had its own problems, but if you're a fan of the IP, is a great
Well,
game.
this topic is not a let's hate on
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yeah. So what else you got?
So
What else you got?
And to be fair, Kickstarter has done amazing things for the hobby as well.
I have.
Oh, I've
cannot
kicked more games
understate.
than I care to admit on camera.
exactly.
cannot understate.
Honestly-
we don't have a problem with Kickstarter in general.
Yeah.
It's just that there are some things that they
Some
need
of the
to tweak.
practices-
Some of the practices by the larger companies, they don't need it.
Yeah.
You
I
wanted
love
me to do it?
Kickstarter.
Huh? No, go ahead.
Well, so I only had one other, but it's kind of overreaching. I hate it when you get a really complex game and it has poorly written rules. The rules don't have an index or a guide or anything like that. And it doesn't have player cards.
This is a huge one for.
And
Tim here.
I
don't know that I see
mean,
that as a
this is
trend,
why
but
this
yes,
is why
that is a thing
Nemesis
that I
is a
hate.
9.5 and not a 10 for me, because I've had to look through those rules so many times,
Sure.
and every time I have to get to a rule book
The health changes.
is time
Every
I'm
time
not
you open
playing
back
the
up,
game.
that health is different. Sorry, Spencer.
So yeah, every
You're
time
right though. It's
Yeah.
it's a slog, and it could be it could be streamlined a
could-
ton.
you could
A ton.
Yeah, I feel like there's a need for editors.
I wonder if it's because they're a Polish company that makes that. So I
Well,
wonder
not
if it's
just
in the translation.
Nemesis. This is in so many
It's
Other games too.
So
But
many
I haven't
games.
started to bring Kickstarter back up again. A lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, here's our PDF of our rulebook. Feel free to look through it. Tell us what you think. Give us pointers and tips."
That's a dangerous question.
It is a dangerous
because-
question. Yeah, but maybe they're crowdsourcing their editing
Sure.
and their
Could
Yeah,
be.
and I
Yeah.
worry that that's why you end up with
what you got.
poorly made things, because the average person does not know how to properly
Well,
organize
trust
a
me,
book
they
like
think
that.
they know that.
Right.
They think they know that.
Sure.
I have a degree in that, so I
Right.
can tell you right now they don't.
Right.
So
Right.
any game you back, you got to make sure you get on there and look at the book.
Maybe
and,
I
and
do.
tell them what they got to fix.
Yeah, sometimes I like to be surprised.
yeah. Rulebook.
I can't even
I'd
read this.
rather complain about it later.
Surprise. You never look at the
I
rule
just
books
want to be
anyway.
mad.
That's right.
Don't you rob me of my joy.
So that's my biggest gripe, other than the Kickstarter
Yeah.
crowdfunding, is just when a super complicated game becomes 10 times longer than it should be because they have not done a good job of streamlining the textbook, or the textbook might as well be a textbook.
Yeah, it can be for some games. It can be.
Yeah.
Or giving really good player guides.
Yeah.
And I think this is a trend because it used to be pretty common. Every game you got, it was easy to read the rules. Now
Yeah.
it's becoming lazy.
Well,
Games
I-
are also becoming more complicated.
They are becoming more complicated.
And I think that also now with more independent designers and everything, you don't have the companies like Simon has an army of editors. Right?
yes,
You know what I
they
mean?
do a good
Like,
job of doing their rules.
The larger
The
companies,
larger ones do.
Fantasy Flight, they've got professional people. It just goes boom, 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 right through the process. So when you've got like small designers, maybe it's a group of like 3 friends that made a game and now they're trying to write a rule book. Well, guess what? They've never written a rule book before, so they're
Right.
trying to figure it out. And you don't always consider player aids, man, but do we not love player
We
aids,
love
right?
player
Love
aids.
player aids.
They save you so much time, even in a badly written rule book. The player aids, you're like, don't even look at that
Right.
thing. It's all right here.
Yeah.
We can
And-
figure
Right.
it out.
And
Here's all
figuring
the
out-
actions you can take. Here's the iconography broken
Yeah.
down. Boom, there you
Figuring
go.
out iconography to go with it is
Sure.
half of the battle.
Sure.
Yep.
What you got, Bob? You got one? Oh, it was a Kickstarter, your big one.
Yeah, well, the big thing is like when games are in stores before
Oh.
crowdfunders get theirs.
100%.
I hate
Oh my
that trend.
gosh.
That is one of the worst
And
trends.
it is still happening.
It is still happening.
And it shouldn't
No,
happen
ever.
no,
Yeah.
it shouldn't.
I get it. Like you get a big shipment in and you have a con coming up and you take them to the con. Like I said, we kind of give a little leeway to cons just because we want people to
Yes.
show up. We want them to be bigger and better.
And that
okay,
might
fine,
be,
but
that
I don't
might
want
be
to go
your
to
only
like,
opportunity to get a bunch to move
Sure.
a bunch of those copies.
yeah, and that's not gonna be around for later. But I shouldn't be walking into a big box store and being like,
Right.
"Oh, there's a game for $20 less than I paid a year and a half ago, and I still don't have my copy."
Right. And the only difference is
Aggravating.
you might have a box of miniatures that
On the
isn't in
side.
that,
Mm-hmm.
but still.
Sometimes that's the difference.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sometimes.
it's not even that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go here and I can buy it and I don't need all the other stuff.
Yep.
You know, because I've almost bought Marvel United just
Uh-huh.
to have it and play it. But then I'm like, oh, am I gonna have the FOMO? You know,
Yeah.
fear of missing out is FOMO. In case
Yeah.
you didn't know.
That was covered in one of our
It
earlier
was covered in one of our
It was.
jargon bins.
Jargon
yeah.
bin.
Check those out if you don't know the terms.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what you got? What you got?
I have a
Dan?
pretty simple one to close mine up
Oh, I got
here.
one more. Oh yeah, close yours.
Yeah. I'm just wording this as like looks over efficiency, right? To where this has happened to me twice lately, and it's definitely happened more than that. And that is where, and again, unfortunately, not to be a depressed Danny here, but the Kickstarter feeds into this a lot, where people want minis, they want big things, they want all these cool things, and all it does is hurt the game, right? Like one of my big ones lately is Title Blades. I literally think the game is worse with all the expensive add-ons that you got.
Sure.
The workers don't stack anymore, which is a whole point in the game, that things stack really nicely. These apples and these shells, guess what? That's cool. They're 3D. It serves no purpose. They just take up more space and cost more money. There is no
Sure.
reason for them to be that other than, oh, do you want to brag to your friends that your shells are 3D, right?
They're so squishy.
Yeah, cool. Some people like that, and that's cool. Another one
Right.
with a very similar experience for me was Dune Imperium. You know, Dune Imperium is fine the way it is.
Yeah.
Like you look at that, you can spend $50 on this expansion that gives you all these things that you only
nothing
own
for the
so
gameplay.
that you can say that you have it.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It's completely inefficient for actually playing the game.
Sure.
They did that with Nemesis. They came out with a bunch of figures that serve no purpose whatsoever.
You know what?
Lords of
I will
Hellas too,
say, I
terrain,
will
but
say,
that's
I really enjoy the terrain pack.
I
on
do
Lords of
too.
Hellas.
Yeah.
No,
I
yeah.
do like the
Again,
terrain
that's
pack.
one that I argue all the time, though, to where that one's not. That one is efficient to play with. It is hard to see the temples on that
They don't
board
stand
without
out.
them, and the cities
Okay.
literally hold your pieces
Sure.
in place.
Sure.
So I find that one makes it more efficient.
Yeah.
Calm
Right.
down.
We got him hot. He's running now.
yeah. Another example that is a fan-made one, but a lot of people make on Etsy and stuff like that for Dune, the board game. You can get your units. You have all those chits that are your units. You can get like minis that look like guys.
Oh,
okay, well
sure.
here's the problem with that, guys. How the hell are you gonna fit a troop of 10 people in each zone if they're all minis that can't stack? The whole
Yeah,
point.
if you can stack
The
up
whole
a bunch
point
of
is
cubes,
you have
right?
to stack your units. Otherwise, that board is way too small.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
all these people are charging you a bunch of money to look cool when it literally makes the game harder to play.
Sure.
You know, and that's something that annoys me. And I know Kickstarter funds that a lot, but
Well, and you know, but that's a good point because that's a very popular trend, right? Blinging out your games.
Exactly.
Now there's times where
Guilty.
it works, it makes it better.
Yep.
Because honestly, right? Lords of Vegas.
Yep.
Poker chips.
Yep.
If I'm playing at my house, I've got poker chips like on a shelf that I can pull off and I will
use.
play with over paper money.
Yep.
Just because
Right.
it enhances the experience. I don't know that I'd haul them everywhere.
Sure.
But this, right, blinged out version comes with the poker chips, no paper money. Hey, that's great.
Yep.
If it holds it, it runs with it. That's fine. The terrain pack, right, in Lords of Hellas is awesome. It actually amplifies the game.
which is why I word it as versus or over efficiency. right?
Quacks of Quedlinburg. If
Yep.
you 3D
Oh,
print
yeah.
or buy the boxes, it makes that game so much
So much
easier to
easier to
set up
You're
and
like,
play
there you go.
and put away at the end of the day, right? So those are all improvements, right? Those are all really good things. But you're 100% correct where you're like, well, by having this piece now, it negates the efficiency
It's
of
not as efficient. Yeah.
I'm
Your-
worried about it happening in the Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition because again,
Right.
your workers stack in that game,
Right.
and now they give you models.
Right.
Okay, well, how does this work? Is one of the worker going to be model and the other one a disc?
I think they all should stand like this. So then you can
There you go. You
just
stand
hold-
on top of each other.
But I am
For
worried.
the picture, look like they're just normal dudes, and you just put both guys side by
Yeah,
side.
which
But the
that
board might be
works
the
as
board
long-
might be
the
big enough
board
to
is
accommodate.
bigger, and that
it,
might
right.
be why, because they were like, well, this doesn't work anymore.
Sure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that might be why.
Sure. That's really that's a good one I hadn't considered.
Again, with Tidal Blades, just the fact that because they made that board cool in islands and blah blah blah, that game barely fits on this table.
It was a big game. Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot
what?
of table. Yeah.
It's insane
The
how
other-
inefficient that is.
The other problem with that, and this, because of
But I
them
like the
trying to
game.
be cute with the design, is that it takes as long to set up and tear down as it does to play.
Sometimes,
you
yeah.
know? But it's a very cool game. It does a lot of neat things, but I don't know that it warrants this modular piece,
I
because
could
it's not
do
really
with
modular because you can't switch them around.
yeah,
Right.
it tells you where to put them.
They've got to go in that order.
I could definitely do without the minis.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate the little busts, and I like the little squishy oranges.
Oh yeah, I don't mind squishy.
Sure.
But do those
but
squishy
the actual
oranges,
minis, I could do without.
do those
Yeah.
squishy oranges run the risk of rolling around the table?
No, because they have little stems on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I don't have the deluxe version. I have
Yep.
the
Sure.
undeluxe version,
The
where you can
undeluxe.
stack all that stuff.
The
Yeah,
Undeluxe.
I'm just saying. I literally think you're better off. I'm just
Well, I
being
don't spend
honest.
as much money.
From someone who's played with both,
Yeah.
I prefer playing with the smaller box. Still
Sure.
has a beautiful insert. Everything still
Yeah, it does.
fits.
Yep.
Like, and here's what you do with the apples in the game. These beautiful squishy apples. You go, okay, I want 3. Okay, I'm now spending 3.
Yep.
I'm so glad those are awesome 3D squishy models. You know, like I just don't
Yeah.
care.
But if you bite into them, like a little citrus flavor
don't do
shoots
that,
into your mouth.
he is absolutely.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah,
might
that,
not
Board
be-
Game
not
Rundown
condone
does not
this.
endorse this activity.
but that's just one. I'm always a stickler for efficiency anyway, and I've been seeing this happen more and more lately, where people think that things that look and feel cool. People are literally going out and spending money on things that make their experience worse, so that they can brag about having it.
Right.
And
They
I
don't even
don't
realize
and I
it's made their
don't
experience worse.
understand. You know,
Sure.
so
I would almost argue though that the oranges are easier to pick up when they're.
I don't mind the
3D
oranges.
they could be.
I like the oranges.
I do-
My problem is with the way
big
the
crazy
board.
Yeah, and then
Because if it's
and
just
then the
one board that
actual grooves.
unfolds, boom, that's one thing you don't even have to worry
Those
about.
are
I'm a karate
expensive.
chop your glasses. I'm
And of
so
course-
angry.
And of course, that being said, we probably are all guilty of doing this. Of
Oh yeah,
buying a game
I
that
mean, I have the deluxe edition of Tidal Blades.
yeah,
I went out and I bought
Yeah.
the Kings expansion for Nemesis.
Sure.
Kings are there to replace the Queens, and they do absolutely nothing.
I will say that's one of the only ones I didn't get because I was like, that does absolutely,
absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
Except you can get fan-made
And that's why
things
I did
online
it.
that give them individual powers.
That's why I did it.
So the Blood Rage, when they did the Blood Rage digital and they gave you the alternate sculpts
Yep.
for the
Yeah.
the monsters, I was like, I don't need any of that.
alternate sculpts, and then they also give you like a new first player marker and some other stuff.
I already got all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Whatever.
Again, that is slightly different. Same thing with the King thing, slightly different than what I'm saying because it does not hinder the experience.
No, it doesn't hinder,
Sure.
but it's
You know,
excessive.
Yeah, it is excessive.
So my last one is a big one, and I see it all the time, and I hate it so much. I'm so sick of board gamers gatekeeping other board gamers and designers.
and like poo-pooing other people. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
so,
why
look,
you even play that game?
If I post Munchkin and I'm like, I got to play
Well,
Munchkin
yeah, but that
tonight.
game's
if you play
terrible.
Munchkin,
Hold on. I picked that one on purpose. And you just go, I love Munchkin. You know, what else should I get? You know, or
Right.
something. And then these people are like, why are you playing Munchkin? You're
Yeah.
horrible. The Munchkin's horrible.
first thing you should do is throw it in the trash.
Yeah. Not what I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this game. You just go, hey, if you like that, you might like this. And then recommend games you like better. It's
Yeah.
that much easier. But people are always trying to trash.
Screw Dominion. Arctic Scavengers is better.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Listen, I agree with that statement, but if somebody posts a
Exactly.
picture
You
of their
wouldn't attack them.
Correct.
really nice Dominion set, I'm going to go, oh, that looks great. But
Right.
have you,
Which
if
is
you,
almost a negative trend we're seeing in humans.
yeah,
Yeah,
more
it's
than
more.
board
Yeah, yeah,
games.
but
The
it's
trend has been going on for a
rampant.
while.
Yeah.
It's
called
rampant in a
elitism.
community that also shows like this really wonderful positive side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to, I really, really, really try to go positive. I mean, I know we pick on each other all the time, but honestly, we're great friends, except Dan.
Yeah.
But I just hate it. I hate it so much when I see people just trash games other people, love. Because it's, they take a picture of their collection. Like somebody one time posted a picture on Facebook of their collection, and the first comment was, well, that's a lot of mass market games. And it's like, who cares? If I ever comment, it's always like, hey, awesome collection.
Right. It's so much different when you're picking on
nice
your
start.
friends
Right.
versus why are you being so rude to this random
Right.
person? I don't understand.
Right. These
You
people,
don't even know that person.
don't
these people are just trying to be a part of the community.
Yeah.
Right?
This
Yeah.
goes. This is across the whole.
Yeah, we're
human
not
experience.
getting out of the board game
Right.
experience. We're
Yeah.
keeping it in the board game
Yeah.
experience. But
So
Welcome to
if-
Human
if-
Nature Rundown.
yeah,
If, for instance, I said I like Zombicide,
Sure.
and someone else might also be like, "Oh, Zombicide! You don't want Zombicide. You want to have Zombicide Black Plague."
yeah.
Might be correct.
Wait,
Right, but it's about how they convey that information. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you like Zombicide? You should check out Black Plague. I think it really enhances the experience.
Yep.
Yes.
You know,
Boom.
Like
There's-
that kind of
correct way
there's
to
nicer
when they
ways to say
say
things.
when they say something along the lines of, "If you haven't played Black Plague, then you're not really a fan of Zombicide."
Yeah, also true.
Yeah.
Also, those
Sure.
people just should
Yeah.
shut up.
That's like,
Sure.
oh yeah, if the Star Wars isn't your favorite movie, then you can't be a Star Wars fan. If you
Right.
read all
Well,
the
in all
books and
fairness,
everything.
if Attack of the Clones is your favorite movie, you got a lot more wrong with you than we can go into. I'm sorry, I retract the previous statement.
But people just need to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Just be kind.
Rewind.
It will go. Life would be so much easier.
yes,
You can enjoy the hobby so much more by not trashing other people's
Yeah.
enjoyment of the hobby.
Yep.
You know, build up on your own enjoyment. Build up on, like, if somebody has a game, like somebody posted a shelfie, right? And they had a bunch of games I'd never heard of, and I saw GKR up at the top. And I was like, oh, hey, GKR, right? I
Right.
love that game.
Yeah, you wouldn't then immediately do a second sentence of the rest are kind of shit though.
Oh, wait, I did. Was that wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Dang it.
oops.
But yeah, no, exactly. Just you leave in the positive part and all of your negative connotations. You know, it's like, well, I don't like any of your other games, but that's my favorite.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
the worst thing I would say is that's not a game that I would like, but I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, I
just
don't
wouldn't
even
even say that.
I don't even
I
share
wouldn't
that
even
information.
say that normally.
Just keep
I
scrolling.
I just feel like okay,
Yeah.
well, I don't have any input in this
I don't have
conversation.
anything positive to
Yeah.
contribute. I'm out.
It's like you know. I think the whole being on the internet part makes it worse. You're not gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
walking around a con and be like, "Ugh, that game, losers," you know, and like walk away.
I don't know. I think I've been at a convention where somebody walked by and was like, "Oh, I hate this."
That was
game."
me though.
But I mean, this happens with things like Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
I
easy
mentioned, hey, I got to play Monopoly this week. What would you guys say?
one. Okay.
Yeah, I actually do have this conversation. I have this conversation all the time. One of my dad's favorite board games to this day is Risk, and I tell him all the
I love
time,
Risk.
I'm like, Dad, I get it. You know, it's a classic. I gotta get you to try out these other games that I think are so
Yep.
much better than Risk.
That's it.
You know, like
That's
I
it.
don't say like, God, you're so old, idiot. You know,
Risk is stupid. You're-
but I do try to let him know, Dad, a lot of games have come out in the last 60 years. that are
Do you know how many puppies you just killed by saying you like Risk?
Wow.
Zero.
you need to
Doesn't
try
matter.
some of these out. I was trying to talk to him the other day about Twilight Struggle. I was like, I really think you'd love Twilight Struggle. It's
sure.
not totally Risk, but you know, you get that same
Small
feeling,
World.
but
Get into
political
Small World.
and
I think I saw somewhere they're coming out with a deluxe version of Twilight Struggle.
oh no,
We're
yeah.
taking
Okay,
a-
Bob, give them extra bits.
Right, but I agree completely with your point, Tim. Not just in board gaming, but just human society in general.
Just be
but we
nice.
can limit it. I know
Yeah.
this is
Nice.
something we've said a lot. It's almost become our catchphrase. We mentioned this first in when the COVID video started, I think,
Right.
and then it's moved on. We just be kind.
Be
I
kind.
don't understand. I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
It
understand.
doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Nope.
As a quick little segue, if someone came to you and asked, if you said, I like board games, and usually the thing that they will say to you is something like, oh, what kinds do you like? Do you like Risk? Do you play
Right.
They think of
Sorry
the
or whatever?
classic ones, yeah.
What do you respond with?
I say I'm deeper into the hobby, and I usually will get more specific.
Yeah.
Like those are older games
Yeah.
and not as complicated. I usually try to get into I'm like heavier into the hobby, so I've played some, and then I might still try to go with some very famous ones like Ticket to Ride. You know what I mean?
Settlers
Like
of
things like
Catan.
that.
Settlers of Catan. You
Settlers
got to
of
mention
Catan.
that one because they may have heard of it.
Right. So
I would usually, what I would do is I would take what they said as an example, right? So if they said what, like Risk, I would say, oh, well, I would pick a game I love that is an enhancement, I think, to Risk,
Right.
and I would explain that, right?
Right.
I'd be like, oh, not exactly, but I do love this game, right?
And it-
Let's
but
just
it-
go into Twilight Imperium, which is way heavier, but I was like, but I do love Twilight Imperium, which is kind of like Risk, but more political and a bit heavier, right? Like,
In
and then you,
space.
yeah, and then you, and then you narrow their vision to understand exactly what you're trying
Sure,
to talk about instead
absolutely.
of just saying
Yeah.
cloud formation.
right.
For me-
yes, but better.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, what I do is I try to show them that there is a world of board
Yeah.
games that they are not aware of.
Usually.
hobby
I
has
probably
exploded.
wouldn't try to do that to them the first conversation.
Oh,
Hi, you don't know anything about board games, and I'm going to show you. My name's Spencer.
not quite like that.
That's not how we worded that.
But then what's weird is that he opens his door that was not there before, and it just goes
Yeah.
into a board game store. So he's magical.
It's-
Everybody kind of
it's a
lets it
bunch
go.
Like nice.
Not nice.
Not nice.
All the editions of not dice in all the languages,
All my Celtic games.
Unless we show you something.
and a didgeridoo for no
So,
reason.
so what would you do if someone asked you,
Yeah.
do you like board games?
How do you respond to that and don't lie?
Yeah,
And
be
be
honest.
overly nice.
If you're a
Yeah.
jerk,
Be
just stop
honest.
being a jerk.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just keep scrolling or just log off.
That's fine too. That's fine too.
Yeah.
But anyways, so what are some of the trends you don't like? I'm interested to hear and see what we missed. Maybe there's stuff
Yeah.
that we do like that you don't, and that's fine too.
Yeah, we'll tell
We
you
can
why
have a
you're
nice- We can have a nice conversation. I can have a nice conversation with Bob. Bob's going to tell you
Why you're
be a little cranky.
We'll see.
Just kidding. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Always like, subscribe, share. We're giving a giveaway. We're giving a giveaway.
We are
We
doing
are.
a giveaway.
We're having a giveaway. If we get to when we get to 500 subscribers, whenever that is, we're going to send you a free copy of Edge of Darkness. All you got to do is comment on the giveaway video, and be a subscriber. You're entered to win.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Always check out our friends at the Board Game Mechanics. They are pretty okay. They do a nice podcast, and there's lots of YouTube videos all the time on that channel.
And our sister channel, Miniatures Rundown, covers a lot of miniature stuff. Jeff,
Yep.
our editor, shows up on that series quite a bit because they don't use all 4 chairs on that one.
So
Here we're like, Jeff, back up.
Friend of the show, CJ hosts that
Yep.
one.
And they
CJ.
do a lot of Games Workshop stuff. So if
Yep.
you're into Warhammer, any of that, BattleTech, whatever.
And check out
So
our
BattleTech,
roulette.
Battle
Age of
Hammer.
Sigmar, and
Yes.
40K. He
Yeah.
says those 3 all the time, so I know it now.
So
And
yeah,
check
yeah.
out, we have roulette videos, we have unboxing videos, we've got previews and reviews and everything. Just check out our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
And I've been Spencer.
We'll see you next time. But if you bite into them, like a little citrus flavor
Don't
shoots
do that.
in your mouth.
He is absolutely.
Yeah.
We here at the Game Talk Network do not condone eating of non-edible products such as fruit-shaped rubber, Tide Pods, wooden meeples, and sauerkraut. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.